In every age of power, influence, and ambition, one truth remains constant. Those who rise are never the strongest, the richest, or even the smartest. They are the ones who understand people. They know how to form bonds with those above them, how to move in rooms filled with influence, and how to turn conversations into opportunities. If you want to rise in life, you must understand the psychology of powerful people, because power does not exist in isolation. It lives inside people, and people only open their world to those who know how to approach them with intention, awareness, and strategic charm. When you enter a room full of influential individuals, you are not judged by what you say first. You are judged by how you carry yourself. Your posture, your gaze, the calmness in your breath. These subtle signals tell powerful people whether you are an equal or a servant. They respect confidence wrapped in silence far more than loud attempts to prove worth. Before you ever speak, your presence is speaking for you. So become the type of person whose presence introduces you before your words ever arrive. Move slowly, speak precisely, listen deeply, and let every motion reflect certainty. Connections with powerful people are built on value, but not the superficial value most people try to offer. Powerful individuals are surrounded by people who beg, people who flatter, people who drain energy. What they lack is someone who understands their burdens, their goals, their fears, and their ambitions. If you want access, become the person who reduces their mental load, not increases it. When they talk, give them sharp clarity through your listening. When they express problems, offer thoughtful insights, not desperate solutions. Your intelligence should be subtle, your presence effortless, your usefulness natural. They must feel lighter around you, not heavier. Never try too hard to impress influential people. The moment you try, you place yourself beneath them. Machiavelli knew that power is attracted to power, not desperation. You must cultivate an inner sense of self that is strong enough to remain calm in the presence of greatness. You don't bow emotionally, you don't become overwhelmed. You don't elevate them to a level that makes you small. Instead, you treat them as humans. Rare humans, yes, but still humans. And that is exactly why they will gravitate toward you. Everyone else wants something from them. You simply respect them without worshiping them. Powerful individuals value time more than anything because time is the one thing they can never buy back. If you want to connect with them, treat their time as precious. When you speak, speak with intention. Get to the point. Offer something meaningful. Don't drag conversations, don't over-explain your presence, and never try to secure closeness through useless details. Be concise, be sharp, and leave them wanting more. The longer you stay after the value ends, the quicker you become forgettable. Every powerful person has a circle, a network of people who guard them, advise them, support them, or sometimes exploit them. Instead of trying to break through the front door, pay attention to the circle around them. You build influence with the powerful by first building influence with those who influence them. Their assistants, their colleagues, their longtime friends often hold more practical importance than the person at the top. Treat these individuals with respect, patience, and genuine warmth. If they trust you, they will naturally pull you closer to the center of gravity. Never present yourself as competition. Powerful individuals protect themselves from threat. They will distance themselves from anyone who appears too ambitious in the wrong way. Your ambition should be evident, but not aggressive. It should be clear that you are rising, but your rise does not depend on stepping over them. Make your purpose bigger than personal gain. Talk in terms of vision, mission, and growth, not in terms of climbing over others. Powerful people align themselves with those who dream big but are grounded in strategy. One of the greatest abilities in social climbing is learning how to predict the emotional climate of the room. As you walk into a gathering, observe first. Who is trying to dominate? Who is being ignored? Who is subtly influencing decisions without speaking loudly? Who seems tired? Who seems defensive? Read the room like a strategist. Most people enter spaces trying to be seen. Wise individuals enter spaces trying to understand. Once you understand the energy, your moves will be more precise. You will speak at the right time, listen at the right moment, and position yourself where your presence becomes valuable, not intrusive. Silence is one of your greatest assets. Powerful people are used to being listened to, but rarely experience someone who listens with genuine depth. When you are silent, attentive, and slightly mysterious, you create a pull. Let them speak about their struggles, their victories, their ideas without interrupting. Ask the kind of questions that reveal thoughtfulness. Make them feel understood in a way they don't feel with others. When someone feels safe sharing their mind, they begin to trust you with their world. You must build yourself in such a way that powerful people recognize you as an investment. They will connect with someone who is already moving upward, someone hungry but disciplined, someone who works relentlessly but intelligently. Show them consistency. Show them stability. Show them that your character is not influenced by mood swings or external noise. Powerful people hate unpredictability. They want allies who are steady, reliable, capable, and emotionally controlled. Become that person, and opportunities will naturally flow toward you. Discretion is essential. Nothing destroys trust faster than loose speech. If someone in power shares something with you, treat it as if your silence determines your future. When you protect their words, they will increasingly trust you with more. The moment powerful people realize you cannot be broken by gossip or pressure, they see you as someone capable of handling bigger roles. Loyalty is rare, and rarity is valuable. When you finally build a connection, nurture it slowly. Never overwhelm it. Powerful relationships must mature like old wine, gradually, naturally, and with respect to time. Check in without being clingy, offer value without being transactional, show respect without losing authenticity. Give them space, yet remain consistent. A relationship built slowly lasts longer and rises higher than one rushed out of insecurity. And remember this final truth: the ultimate way to connect with powerful people is to become powerful yourself. Not necessarily through wealth or status, but through discipline, knowledge, psychological depth, and unwavering self-respect. When you master yourself, you naturally attract people of influence. When your actions reflect strength, clarity, and strategic intelligence, those above you will begin to see you not as someone seeking favors, but as someone worth aligning with. This is how you climb, not by begging or impressing, not by noise or flattery, but by silently becoming someone whose presence adds value, whose character commands respect, and whose mind understands the hidden architecture of power. When you transform yourself internally, doors open externally. When you carry yourself with controlled ambition, powerful people will not only notice you, they will invite you into their world as you continue rising. You must understand a truth few ever accept. Powerful people do not connect with everyone. They are selective not because they believe they are superior, but because their world is filled with risks, responsibilities, and constant pressure. Every new connection can be a threat, a distraction, or a burden. Clean appearance, calm voice, controlled expressions, they convey seriousness, discipline, and reliability. Powerful individuals look for signals that you can handle responsibility, pressure, and complexity. They look for people who are stable when others are emotional. Your demeanor is your resume long before your achievements are mentioned. As your connection grows, always underpromise and overdeliver. Offer little, deliver big. Meet deadlines early. Offer insights that save time or avoid mistakes. Provide solutions before problems fully emerge. When you consistently exceed expectations, trust builds naturally. You become associated with competence, and competence is magnetic. But never forget the rule of emotional neutrality. Do not get too excited when praised, and do not get discouraged when ignored. Power tests people. Sometimes silence is a test. Sometimes distance is a test. Sometimes unexpected pressure is a test. Respond with calmness every time. When your emotional state remains steady regardless of how you are treated, you show psychological strength. And strength is the universal language of the powerful. You must also learn the art of subtle positioning. Do not push yourself into conversations. Place yourself near opportunities. Listen more than you speak. Wait for moments where your insight can shift the direction of discussion. Only then contribute something sharp, brief, and impactful. The one who speaks less but says more always rises faster than the one who dominates the room. To truly connect with powerful individuals, avoid gossip at all costs. The moment you speak about someone behind their back, you signal danger. But when they see that you do not engage in petty conversations, they categorize you differently. You become someone safe. Someone stable, someone who can be trusted in critical moments. Your silence in the wrong conversations becomes your identity in the right ones. And finally, always maintain your hunger. Not desperation, but hunger. Ambition keeps you sharp. Discipline keeps you rising. When people of influence sense that you are moving with purpose, they respect it. When they see effort without arrogance, they support it. When they see growth without noise, they want to be part of it. Your climb becomes inevitable not because you beg for opportunity, but because you embody the essence of someone who deserves opportunity. There will come a moment in your rise where you begin to notice a shift. The same people you once chased now begin to pay closer attention. The doors that once seemed sealed start to open slightly. But the biggest mistake people make at this stage is moving too fast. The moment you taste a little access, you must slow down even more. You must become even more calculated, more observant, more controlled. Real connections with powerful people grow through rhythm, not rush. They must see you consistently present, consistently reliable, and consistently growing without ever appearing needy or demanding. Your confidence must be quiet, not loud. Loud confidence is insecurity in disguise. Quiet confidence signals mastery. When you walk into a room of influence, do not try to dominate the energy. Let the energy come to you. Let your presence be felt before your words are heard. People trust those who do not fight for attention. When you hold your center, others naturally adjust around you. And powerful people are drawn to those who command a room without force. As you rise higher, you will encounter gatekeepers, people whose job is to protect the powerful from unnecessary interactions. Most individuals treat gatekeepers as obstacles. The wise treat them as opportunities. If you respect them, if you show kindness, if you learn their rhythm, they will open pathways others never see. Powerful people trust the judgment of the ones closest to them. If the gatekeeper likes you, they speak on your behalf when you are not there. In the world of influence, a single sentence from the right person can elevate you more than years of effort. Be very intentional with your emotional presence. Powerful individuals connect with those who give their mind space to breathe. If you bring chaos, insecurity, or emotional instability into their orbit, you push them away. But if you bring calmness, clarity, and emotional maturity, you become a rare presence. Something refreshing in a world filled with pressure. Your energy must be grounding. Let your tone be steady, your reactions controlled, your patience strong, your calmness becomes your advantage. Every influential person appreciates subtle intelligence. Not the kind that tries to prove itself, but the kind that reveals itself naturally through insight, timing, and self-restraint. When you speak, speak in a way that lifts the conversation. Mention ideas that spark curiosity, not arguments. Share perspectives that add depth, not noise. Your intelligence should feel like a quiet revel. Throughout human history, the world has always been shaped by people who understood power better than everyone else. Every era, every civilization, and every society produced individuals who seemed to move differently, think differently, and rise above the ordinary. We call them geniuses, leaders, strategists, philosophers, and visionaries. But behind all these titles lies one truth: they understood certain hidden laws of human nature that most people never learn. These laws are not written in classrooms, and they are not taught openly. They are discovered through experience, through observation, and through a deep understanding of how the world truly works. The first reality every genius understands is control over the self. The greatest battles are not fought on the outside, but inside the human mind. Most people react emotionally, impulsively, and without thought. But those who rise above the crowd learn to control their emotions rather than letting their emotions control them. A genius doesn't rush, doesn't panic, and doesn't let anger cloud judgment. When others scream, he stays silent. When others react, he observes, and in that silence he sees what others miss. That inner discipline becomes the foundation of power. Another truth is the importance of secrecy. Powerful people never reveal their entire plan. They know that human beings fear what they cannot fully understand and envy what they cannot achieve. A genius reveals only fragments, just enough to keep people curious, but never enough to be predictable. This is not manipulation. This is survival. The world is full of rivals, critics, and hidden enemies. Showing your full intentions invites unnecessary conflict. A genius protects his vision by keeping it in the shadows until the moment it becomes unstoppable. Geniuses also understand the fundamental nature of human desire. Every person is driven by a hidden need: validation, respect, fear, ambition, insecurity, or longing. A genius doesn't force people to follow him. He understands what they crave and aligns his actions with their nature. Influence is never about control. It is about reading people so deeply that they willingly follow, thinking it was their own decision. Understanding human psychology is one of the most powerful tools in the world, and the greatest minds master it without ever speaking about it. Another principle geniuses obey is the mastery of timing. Timing can turn an ordinary act into a legendary one. Most people rush, others wait too long, but a genius knows when to move, when to strike, and when to remain still. He uses patience as a weapon. He understands that sometimes doing nothing is more powerful than doing everything. Life rewards those who can wait for the perfect moment and strike when the world least expects it. No true genius wastes time in arguments. Most people argue not to discover truth, but to protect ego. A genius knows that convincing a closed mind is impossible, so he refuses to waste energy on debates. He lets his results speak. He lets his achievements silence doubters. Victory is the only argument that cannot be denied, and a genius focuses on winning, not talking. Self-respect is another quiet law of power. The world treats you according to what you tolerate. If you bend too much, people walk over you. If you give everything, people stop valuing you. A genius understands that boundaries are not signs of arrogance, they are signs of self-worth. When you protect your dignity, the world recognizes your value. Those who carry themselves with strength and confidence naturally attract respect, opportunities, and influence. Geniuses also understand the battlefield of perception. People don't respond to reality, they respond to what they think is reality. A genius crafts the way he appears, the way he speaks, the way he moves. He is aware that every gesture, every silence, every action communicates meaning. And he uses this awareness to shape the world's perception in a way that serves his purpose. Power isn't always about what you do. Sometimes it's about what people believe you can do. At the core of all these principles lies one deeper truth. The greatest geniuses conquer themselves before they conquer the world. They study their weaknesses, their fears, their insecurities, and they transform them into strength. They do not hide from their flaws, they refine them. They do not stop learning, they evolve endlessly. While others repeat the same mistakes year after year, a genius grows with each experience, each failure, each lesson. These laws are not about harming anyone. They are about protecting your vision, rising above mediocrity, and navigating a world that is often chaotic, unfair, and unpredictable. Power is not evil. It is simply the ability to shape your life instead of letting life shape you. And those who understand these subtle truths walk a different path. They move quietly, think deeply, act strategically, and rise consistently. The world still follows the same rules it followed centuries ago. Only the players and faces have changed. The mind remains the ultimate weapon, silence remains a shield, patience remains a strategy, and self-mastery remains the highest form of strength. Anyone who learns these principles, not as tricks but as disciplines, begins to see the world differently. They stop being victims of circumstance and become creators of their destiny. This is the hidden wisdom geniuses use, the unspoken code behind power, influence, and mastery. And once someone begins to understand these principles, they stop living like the world controls them and start living like they control their world. Because the true battlefield is the mind, the true opponent is the self, and the true victory is becoming the person you were meant to be. Powerful minds understand something most people never realize. The world does not reward the loudest voice, it rewards the most strategic one. Strength is not found in showing force, but in showing restraint. A genius learns early in life that reacting is easy, but controlling reaction is rare. When others lose balance, he maintains composure. When others panic, he remains calm. This calmness is misinterpreted by many as weakness, but in truth, it is the greatest form of dominance. Because the one who controls himself eventually ends up controlling the situation. These rare individuals also understand that people judge based on what they see, not what is true. So they use the art of subtlety. They never beg for recognition because they know true value never needs to announce itself. They choose their moments carefully, revealing their brilliance only when the impact will be undeniable. People who crave attention burn out quickly. Geniuses rise slowly and steadily until one day the world wonders where they came from. Another silent law that guides them is the ability to detach. Most people are trapped in emotional attachment to opinions, to validation, to approval, to relationships that drain them. But a genius is willing to walk away from anything that threatens his growth. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. When you are no longer desperate for someone's acceptance, you become powerful. When you no longer fear losing things, you gain the freedom to choose what truly matters. Geniuses understand that attachment weakens judgment and freedom sharpens intuition. They also master the skill of reading between the lines. People rarely say what they truly think, they say what they want others to believe. A genius listens not just to words, but to tone, pauses, facial expressions, and the emotions hiding behind sentences. He sees what others overlook. He catches contradictions. He recognizes intentions disguised as compliments. And because he sees clearly, he cannot be manipulated easily. This clarity gives him an advantage in every negotiation, every relationship, every conflict. Another powerful truth geniuses understand is that loyalty is rare and must never be assumed. Most people are loyal only to their needs, not to you. A genius treats loyalty as a privilege, not a guarantee. This awareness prevents betrayal from destroying him. He expects loyalty from himself first, dedication to his principles, consistency to his goals, and commitment to his path. When he meets people who match that loyalty, he values them deeply, but he never gives his trust blindly. These individuals also learn to embrace isolation. While the world fears being alone, geniuses understand that solitude is not loneliness. It is a laboratory of thought. It is the place where ideas are born, where clarity emerges, where the mind sharpens itself. They know that those who cannot sit alone with their thoughts will never control them. Isolation gives them an edge because it forces introspection, and introspection leads to mastery. Another truth is that geniuses never reveal their weaknesses to the wrong people. They understand that vulnerability in front of the unworthy becomes ammunition. So they build emotional armor. They show strength, confidence, and composure, not because they are trying to impress anyone, but because they know that the world respects those who respect themselves. They guard their inner world carefully, opening it only to those who prove themselves through actions, not promises. They understand the importance of unpredictability. When people can predict you, they can control you. A genius remains mysterious, not by pretending, but by being extremely selective with information. He keeps people guessing. He changes rhythm when necessary. He maintains the element of surprise. This unpredictability keeps opponents cautious and keeps opportunities open. Another guiding force in their journey is the understanding that greatness requires sacrifice. Geniuses give up comfort to gain clarity. They give up distractions to gain focus. They give up temporary pleasure to achieve permanent purpose. They understand that the world may label them strange, intense, or obsessive, but every extraordinary achievement in history was created by someone who was willing to be misunderstood. Geniuses embrace that misunderstanding because they see a future others cannot yet imagine. They also possess the courage to confront truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. Most people prefer soothing lies over painful truths, but geniuses know that you cannot improve what you refuse to acknowledge. They face their flaws, their fears, their mistakes, and their limitations with honesty. This courage to confront themselves allows them to grow faster than those who hide behind excuses. Another powerful skill they master is silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is information. It reveals who is insecure, who is honest, who is desperate, who is confident. People rush to fill silence because they fear it. Geniuses use it because they understand it. Silence disarms arrogance, exposes intentions, and gives space for true insight. A silent mind sees further than a noisy one. And finally, geniuses understand that power is not an event. It is a lifelong process. It grows slowly through discipline, self-awareness, patience, observation, and inner strength. They do not chase power. They build it, day by day, choice by choice, thought by thought. The greatest victories are not achieved through force, but through wisdom. The world bends to those who have mastered themselves. These laws may seem dark, but they are not evil. They are simply the truths of how influence, strength, and human nature operate beneath the surface. When someone begins to understand these truths, they no longer feel lost in this world. They begin to move with purpose, act with intention, and think with clarity. They stop being shaped by circumstance and begin shaping their destiny. This is the path of rare minds, the quiet path, the strategic path, the path where wisdom becomes power and power becomes transformation. Geniuses also understand something subtle yet profoundly powerful. The energy you carry is felt before your words are heard. People sense confidence, insecurity, fear, or dominance long before any conversation begins. A genius works on his inner state because he knows the world responds to who you are long before. Machiavelli's name is often connected with power, influence, and understanding human nature. People today use his ideas the wrong way, as if relationships are a game of control. But the truth is far deeper. Real attraction, real connection, and real love do not come from tricks or manipulation. They grow from character, confidence, emotional strength, and the way you carry yourself. When you understand this, you no longer chase approval. People start gravitating toward you on their own. There is a reason certain men walk into a room and instantly command attention without saying a word. It is not because they are loud or aggressive. It is because they have mastered themselves. They understand their emotions. They do not react out of fear, and they do not let circumstances shake their center. When a man reaches this level of inner stability, he becomes magnetic. Women sense emotional stability in the same way a compass senses the north. It feels safe, steady, and rare. And people always move toward what feels rare. You can never force someone to want you. You can only become the kind of person they genuinely desire. And this begins with the way you value yourself. When you stop begging for attention, when you no longer feel the need to be chosen, you suddenly become the one who is chosen. A man who is complete within himself automatically becomes attractive because he doesn't display the hunger that pushes people away. He carries a quiet confidence, the kind that says, "I'm good with you and I'm good without you." That is the energy that pulls people closer. Attraction is not about what you say, it's about what you project. If your energy is desperate, you push people away. If your energy is grounded, they are drawn in. You cannot fake inner confidence. You cannot pretend strength. These qualities are born from self-respect, discipline, and the ability to walk away from anything that threatens your peace. When a man demonstrates that he can control himself, he influences others without even trying. Machiavelli would say, "Power belongs to the one who needs nothing." Women do not fall for men who chase endlessly. They fall for men who have purpose, vision, and direction. Not because of money or status, but because a man with direction cannot be lost in others. He has goals. He has a mission. He wakes up with intention. A man like this becomes a force. He becomes someone a partner can trust, respect, and look up to. And when a woman feels admiration, desire naturally follows. Attraction is not built on words, it is built on lifestyle. Another powerful truth is that mystery strengthens desire, not secrecy, not games, but depth. When you reveal everything about yourself too quickly, you remove all excitement. Humans value what takes time to understand. You must allow your personality to unfold slowly, naturally, with richness and depth. When a woman feels there is more to learn about you, the connection becomes stronger. This is not manipulation, it is emotional maturity. People bond slowly and meaningfully with those who don't overwhelm them with intensity. Space is another element of attraction that many men ignore. Constant availability kills desire. Relationships need oxygen. They need time apart to allow feelings to grow. If you make yourself too accessible, you lose your value. A man who has a full life, friends, goals, fitness, creativity, work, naturally provides that space. And that space increases desire. Machiavelli teaches that influence comes not from force, but from allowing others the freedom to choose you. When a woman feels she can breathe around you, she wants to stay close. Women are not attracted to dominance. They are attracted to self-dominance. A man who controls his impulses, his emotions, and his reactions becomes incredibly powerful in any relationship. When she becomes emotional, he stays centered. When she tests his patience, he stays calm. When life becomes chaotic, he becomes the rock. This stability creates a feeling inside a woman that is stronger than excitement. It creates trust, admiration, and emotional safety. These feelings turn into deep desire. Modern society teaches men to impress, But real power comes from inspiring. Impressing is temporary. Inspiring is magnetic. When you elevate your communication, improve your lifestyle, show honesty, stand on your boundaries, and treat people with respect, you become the kind of man a woman doesn't want to lose. Women crave emotional intelligence more than perfection. They want a man who listens, understands without judgment, leads without controlling, and loves without losing himself. The greatest hidden truth is that attraction begins inside you. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. When you raise your standards, your relationships rise to match them. When you respect yourself, others cannot treat you any lower. Your confidence becomes effortless. Your presence becomes powerful. Your words carry weight. And your energy becomes something people feel the moment you walk into a room. Women do not beg for men who chase them. They beg for men who choose themselves first. Men who know their worth. Men who speak less and act more. Men who hold boundaries. Men who walk away when they must. Men who stay soft but strong, calm but confident, kind but firm, loving but not blind. A man who becomes this version of himself never needs to manipulate desire. His presence creates it. In the end, these so-called hidden rules are not about controlling anyone. They are about mastering yourself. When you master yourself, the world responds to you differently. People respect you more. Women feel drawn to you on a level they don't even fully understand. Love becomes effortless because you are no longer chasing it. You are becoming someone it naturally flows toward. And that is the deepest truth Machiavelli ever pointed to. The one who holds power is the one who has conquered himself. There is a moment in every man's life when he realizes something important. That the world does not reward those who shout the loudest, beg the hardest, or chase the fastest. The world rewards those who understand themselves. A man who knows who he is becomes impossible to ignore. His silence speaks louder than other people's noise. His calmness feels stronger than someone else's aggression. When you reach this stage, you don't go after love. Love starts coming after you. And that shift begins with one thing: self-control. If a man cannot control his emotions will control his life. His anger will destroy opportunities. His insecurities will push people away. His fear will block connections. But once he takes ownership of his emotional world, everything starts to change. He stops reacting. He starts responding. He begins to move with intention instead of impulse. This emotional discipline makes him unmistakably attractive because it is extremely rare in today's world. A man who can stay calm is a man others feel safe around. Safety is the deepest form of attraction. Women do not fall in love with chaos. They fall in love with certainty. When she sees that you can handle life, she begins to trust you. When she realizes you don't break under pressure, she begins to admire you. When she feels that her emotions don't scare you, she begins to open up. And once she opens her heart, everything changes. But for her to reach that level of openness, you must first reach a level of maturity. Maturity is not about age. It is about awareness. It is about understanding that every action creates a consequence, every word creates an impression, and every reaction tells a story. When a man becomes aware of how he shows up in the world, he suddenly becomes responsible for himself. He stops blaming circumstances. He stops blaming others. He becomes the author of his own life. This responsibility makes him powerful because people can feel when a man is in control of his destiny. Women are naturally drawn to men who are leaders in their own life, not leaders over others, leaders over themselves. Leadership is not dominance. It is direction. It is clarity. It is the ability to say, I know where I'm going. You're welcome to walk with me, but I won't stop moving. That kind of man becomes irresistible because purpose is magnetic. When you have something meaningful to chase, you stop chasing people. And when you stop chasing people, the right people start following you. One of the biggest mistakes men make is giving away their power too quickly. They throw their attention, their time, and their emotions at someone who hasn't yet earned them. This creates imbalance. The woman feels pressured. The man feels ignored. Attraction dies. But when a man values himself, he does not offer everything at once. He lets connection unfold naturally. He gives his presence selectively. He allows the relationship to breathe. And by doing this, he becomes more desirable, not less. Because value increases when it is not given to everyone. Another truth is that a man's energy sets the tone of every interaction he has. If he is insecure, he will create doubt. If he is needy, he will create distance. If he is unstable, he will create tension. But if he is grounded, he creates peace. If he is confident, he creates trust. If he is intentional, he creates desire. Energy is not visible, but it is always felt. And the more you purify your energy by improving your mind, your habits, your discipline, the more powerful